Hello, hello. Yes, it is that time of the year and it is the only time of the year you'll get to see me look like an absolute knobhead. Hey, how are you doing? Yes, good evening, everybody. Welcome along. So for anybody who's just watching right now is going, what the bloody hell is going on with me and this evening? So if you're brand new to the channel, this is the Chips Tea Party. So stop it, Raven, stop it. These ears are natural. So as everyone, if you've seen Chips Tea Party before, it just gives me a chance to talk to you guys at home properly, because whenever I do Paranormal Monkey podcast, normally I'm talking to the guest, I'm ignoring everybody in the chat. So good evening, everybody, hope we're good. Yes, it's a giant elf on the shelf. Well, that's one name for it. I can think of many others, but yeah, absolutely. Oh dear God, do I feel ridiculous? But primary school teacher. I just have this in the cupboard. Quite frankly, I have this in the wardrobe. This is what I normally wear. So I'm just going to say hello to everybody before we get going, before we start. So obviously, Diane, well done first in the chat. Good evening. And Kim and Giuseppe and Becky, good evening. And Simon and Roger and Caroline. Mike Lowry, good evening. And Bean, good evening. And Bumps Into Things in the Night. And Roger, yes, I know. Seg is live in half an hour. Absolutely ridiculous, Seg. How dare he? How dare he do this to me? Anyway, good evening, Raven and Spange. Good evening. Who else we got? And Entity 7, Joe Vitale. Yeah, I know, Joe. I know. Yeah. Yeah. What the effing elf? What's that? Mama Maps? Mama? Awakening. Cherry Fears, good evening. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Thank you very cheers. Thought you were going to wear fancy dress. Yeah, cheers for that. Tammy Mama Twins, good evening. Horror. How we doing? And good evening, Mrs. Geek. And who else? Hello there. Hello to all those, like I say, coming in. It's got to be done. You've got to look like a knob at least once a year, haven't you? Chris 52, good evening. And who else have we got? And then other Giggles Girl, good evening. And Beardo. Yeah. Laugh it up, Beardo. Laugh it up. You look like a turkey a couple of weeks back. So, just got to be done in it, really. I thought you'd like the ears because of the whole gnome thing. And yeah. And who else we got? So if I've missed people coming in, I apologize. Brian, what the hell is this? Yeah, I know. Whoa, Phil, hang on. Legolas has aged a bit, you cheeky bastard. Hey, Denise, good evening. Anyway, oh dear Lord. Right. Anyway, yes. So yeah, tonight, obviously, I'm going to try and keep it to an hour. And that way, we'll basically, you'll not miss too much of Side Eye Guy if you're going to Side Eye Guy after this. And exactly, Beardo. Nothing wrong with a bit of festive cheer. Soup, yeah. So welcome along. It is again. This is I called it the FAT Pimp Christmas quiz. Pimp Paranormal Monkey podcast. So there are going to be questions, quite a few questions about the Paranormal Monkey podcast and the guests I've had on throughout the whole of 2024. But there will be some random kind of paranormal questions in there. There's 2 picture rounds and all that kind of silliness. But one thing I'm going to put on here on the captions. Oh, come on, stop buggering about. So don't put your answers in the chat, all right? I think when I've seen other people do this before, people straight away put their answers in the chat, right? Don't put your answers in the chat. I'm going to do it properly. So no cheating. No Googling either. God damn it. Some of them I don't think some things you just have to have seen the Paranormal Monkey podcast. If you're brand new to the channel and you've only just joined, there'll still be questions you can answer. Not a worry. Good evening, Lisa. Let's do it the old-fashioned way, right? Grab a pen and paper. By all means, yeah, absolutely, Beardo. By all means, do it with a friend, a partner, whoever, and what we'll do is we'll go through. There are 50 points. Some questions are worth, like for every question you get right, that's worth a point. Some you've got to give 2 answers to get 1 point. And anyway, but there's 50 in total. My ears are falling off already. This is great. Is it a horror quiz? No, it's not, Raven. No. Yeah, I know. My ears are big anyway. I've just made them even bigger on this one. But I thought, well, I'm not actually listening to anybody, but I've got it here just to check that the audio is actually working. That's why it's here. And I thought, you can see my wonderful ears. Yeah, so excellent. This is based on this is not, I've not done this in primary school. No. It's just a bit of fun. There are no prizes. And I sound like, oh, do we get any monkey merch? Not this time. Maybe in future, as things develop, we might do kind of like formalize it and make it bigger and better. So there is actually a grand winner and all of this kind of stuff. So yeah, don't put your answers in the chat, but do it old-fashioned way. So grab a pen and paper, right? It's like I say, it's just going to be a laugh. You could have played on Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I know. I'm just giving people time to get in the chat, get a pen, get a paper. I'm going to do it old-fashioned way. This sounds like a lot, but it'll go quite quickly, right? There are 22 questions and 2 picture rounds. All right. 1 picture round is all around ghost photos, and the other one is around ghost movies. Keep it easy, keep it straightforward. So if you're a horror fan, then you'll breeze through it. Some questions are dead easy. Some questions, you're not going to know the answer unless you watch the episode, unless you watch the live stream episode. But an awful lot. There should be nobody watching this that's going to get like mainly all wrong answers. So it's just for a laugh, just for fun, just kind of like, it's all kind of silly bollocks, really. Just like, this is going to be probably my last stream over Christmas. I might jump into 1 or 2 other people's streams if they invite me, but essentially there's no guests next Monday, which is the 23rd. So my first guest is, I think, 3rd of January, I think it is. So yeah, this is it over Christmas. This will be my last one over Christmas. So I thought I'd do something stupid. Okay. Are we ready? Right. Just let me know in the chat if you are ready, if your pen and paper is poised and you're ready for the first stupid questions. Right. Like I said, some are easy, some are hard. Just put yes if you're ready. No if you need a bit more time. And I shall wait. I shall wait for the people at the back who are just a bit slow. Come on, can I use the bathroom? Oh, Joe, there's always one, isn't there? Hurry up quickly. So you'll see my teacher side come out. Come on, he should have gone at break time, Joe. Ready. Awesome. Ready to pimp. Nice. Yes, excellent. Brian's ready. Brian was born ready. Giuseppe. Joe passed me a note saying he loves me. There'll be no passing of notes. Simon needs the bathroom as well. Well, go after Joe then. 1 at a time. Not going at the same time as each other. All right. You'll only be causing issues. Right. Enough of this. Let's go. Okay, everyone, I'll just say a big hello to you. Good evening. Okay, here we go. Number 1. Let's get cracking. Okay, the Fat Pimp Christmas quiz. Okay, first question then. Who was the first guest on Paranormal Monkey podcast? Remember, do not write this in the chat. Write it on your bit of paper. Who was the first guest on Paranormal Monkey podcast? And for a bonus point, who came to their rescue halfway through the live stream? Okay. Like I said, I'm going to always give you about 5-10 seconds to work it out. Giuseppe, forget to bring a pen. Come on, get a pencil. Joe didn't wash his hands. That's not surprising. Okay, so who was the first guest on Paranormal Monkey podcast and who came to their rescue halfway through the live stream? Okay. Next question. Coming up. Okay, well, the first guest I had was I spoke to somebody from the Conjuring House. So I spoke to somebody representing the Conjuring House, but who was it? Who did I speak to? Tim, you can play as well. You can play as well, Tim. Just because you're a mod. I've not given the mods any answers. So yeah, absolutely, you can play as well. Okay, so question 2. I spoke to somebody representing the Conjuring House, but who was it? Okay, this is a tricky one. Lorian Jones told us about her favourite haunted pubs and inns around the UK, but can you name any 3 of them? 1 point for each pub you managed to get. She told us. yeah, I know I'm self-promoting. I know. So she told us about 12 different pubs and inns around the UK that are haunted. But can you name any 3 of them? 1 point for each pub. These are not all going to be about guest questions. There are going to be a bit of a mixture. But yeah, just to pre-warn you, sometimes some of these have been a while ago, so they're not the easiest. Have a guess if you're not sure. At least you might get, have a go. You might get 1 or 2. You might get the right answer. Okay, are we ready? No, it's not, Brian. This is not harder than SATs. You just got to put some effort into it. Okay, are we ready? Next question. Okay, Amy Boucher spoke about the ghosts and folklore of which county? So Amy Boucher, when she came on, spoke about the ghosts and folklore, but of which county? Come on, you can do it. It's on the tip of your tongue. Like I say, some of you will get this straight away, particularly if you follow Amy. Some of you may find this bumps this copy of my answers. Come on, no cheating. You're only cheating yourself. Okay, are we ready? Moving on. Okay, so question 5. Keith Linder told us about his encounters with a poltergeist. In which town did this take place? And for a bonus question, which TV show believed that Keith was faking the activity? Concentrate, Span. Stop looking out the window. Okay, so Keith Linder told us about his encounters with a poltergeist, but in which town did this take place? And for a bonus point, which TV show believed that Keith was faking the activity? Snitches get stitches. Damn right, Beardo. You sort them out. Giuseppe, open a window. Okay, are we ready? Ooh, picture round. I'll be ready. So this is the first picture round. There's going to be 2 of these. Okay, you're going to see a number of famous ghost photos. Where was each photo taken? I'm just going to minimize myself because otherwise you won't see the photo. So hopefully you should still be able to hear me. I found gum under my desk. Just stop picking it, horror of horror. Leave it alone. Okay, you're going to see a number of famous ghost photos. Where was each photo taken? 1 point for each location. I'll just pause this. I'll give you time to write down. There's 8 different answers. Okay, I'll give you a little bit longer. 8 different locations, but where were these photos taken? Beardo's done a poo. As long as he's washed his hands and flushed the toilet. Okay, do you need a bit longer? Okay, ready? NC, stop writing answers. Write it on your pen and paper. Not any answers in the chat. Just write them on your pen and paper. NC, it's very simple. Yeah, like I say, all these are famous ghost photos, but where was the location of all of them? Where were they taken? The answer is A, correct, horror. Well done. Okay, are we ready to move on? Do you need a bit more time? Just type time if you need more time, or go if you want to move on. Okay, I'm very patient, very patient. Okay, we're nearly ready to move on? Put it in the chat if you're ready to move on. This is not the hardest test. Come on, all I want to know is where were these photos taken? Some are obvious, some are well known. oh, okay, Sponge is ready. Go, 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 go. Okay, cool. That's most people. Come on. There you go. All the time the word. Okay, we'll move on. I stole my poo crayon. Beardo, stop it. Okay. Now, there were a few things with this one, but here we are. Okay, question number 6. The Ouija brothers came onto the podcast, but what did Griff start to do during the interview that put me off? He did a number of things, but what was one of the main things he did that put me off whilst he was talking? He was doing something whilst he was talking. But what was it? Okay, some of these you're going to know, some of them you're not going to know. Moving on. Beardo's in the glue sticks again. I'm not that surprised, to be honest. Okay, screenwriter Stephen Volk talked about his books and TV work, but what famous TV show did Stephen not want to talk about? So screenwriter Stephen Volk talked about his books and TV work, but what famous TV show did Stephen not want to talk about? It's like, oh, I know that one. Thank God for that. I know that one. Okay, moving on. Question 8. Okay, John Fraser came on to discuss his book Poltergeist, an updated version of which author's original book of the same name? So, John Fraser came on to discuss his book Poltergeist, an updated version of which author's original book of the same name? Okay. Give you a couple of seconds. Okay, question 9. Don't scare Claire. But what is Claire scared of? Don't scare Claire. But what is what is Claire scared of? Okay. Fairly straightforward one, I think. Okay, question number 10. Okay, question 10. So I had Steve Mira coming on about the Rochdale poltergeist. But what particularly bizarre event occurred during the Rochdale poltergeist case? What particularly bizarre event occurred during the Rochdale poltergeist case? Okay. Claire's scared of less things than Steve. You got that right. Okay. Next one. Moving on. Giuseppe. Now then, hang on. Let's all stop for Giuseppe because we've got to sort this out. I don't know the answers. I'm just drawing willies and boobies on my answer sheet. Right. Anyway, let's ignore Giuseppe, shall we? Let's ignore him. Right. Okay. Question 11. Name the 2 paranormal investigators from the UK that reported on Keith Linder's Washington State poltergeist. 1 point for both. So you only get 1 point if you get both investigators' names. So who are the 2 paranormal investigators from the UK that reported on Keith Linder's Washington State poltergeist? Come on, Nick, you can do better than that. Is there going to be a question on beer brewing? No. Yes, somebody did say boobies, Joe Vitale. Don't get too excited. Do you miss recess? No, you're okay. You're all good. You're all good. You're in safe hands. Okay, moving on. This beats seg shit any day. Okay, moving on. Question number 12. What was the name of my previous YouTube channel, which has now been deleted? And which, for a bonus question, which item of footwear scared me when it moved during an investigation of 30 East Drive? You wrote boobies on your calculator. I used to love doing that. I'm such a child. Okay. What is the name of my previous YouTube channel, which has now been deleted? For a bonus point, which item of footwear scared me when it moved during an investigation of 30 East Drive? Easy one. Easy one if you know my past. Okay, let's move on. Okay, question 13. Brian Allen believed that he has found an active portal within a famous church. What is the name of the church? So, okay. Brian Allen believes he has found an active portal within a famous church. What is the name of the church? Okay. Let's put myself back up again. There we go. Here I am. Okay, moving on. Oh, this is a bit of a tricky one, this one. Bit of a tricky one. Okay, Dr. Callum Cooper came on to talk about his book, Telephone Calls from the Dead. But it's a revised version of a similar book by which two authors? So Dr. Callum Cooper came on to talk about his book, Telephone Calls from the Dead, but it is a revision of a similar book by which two authors? This is one for you, paranormal. You know, if you read lots of paranormal books and you listen to the podcast, you should know the answer. But this is a bit of a tricky one. Okay. Okay, moving on. Okay, so question 15. Other than Janet and Margaret, what were the names of the other Hodgson family members from the Enfield poltergeist case? So I want the names of the mum and the two sons. So for 3 points. Other than Janet and Margaret, what were the names of the other Hodgson family members from the Enfield poltergeist case? Ooh. How well do you know it? Damn it, Janet is right. Okay, give you a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds. Other than Janet and Margaret, what were the names of the other Hodgson family members from the Enfield poltergeist case? No, it's not Mummy Enfield, Brian. What was her first name? Okay. Questions coming up. This is still about the Enfield case, but this one is in his book, This House is Haunted, Guy Lyon Playfair used a pseudonym for the Hodgsons, but what surname was used instead? So in his book, This House is Haunted, Guy Lyon Playfair used a pseudonym for the Hodgsons. What surname was used instead? So whether you've actually read that bloody book. Okay. Moving on. Not got too many to go, so you'll all be good. Some of you might be doing well, some of you might be panicking. Don't worry. Okay. Question 17, recent one. At the start of Kieran O'Keefe's episode, I described Kieran as being well known for leading Team Skeptic on Uncanny and for also being what? At the start of Kieran O'Keefe's episode, I described Kieran as being well known for leading Team Skeptic on Uncanny and for also being what? What's a pseudonym, Raven? It's another name. Instead of using the correct name, it's another name that he used so that he didn't identify the family. Spange, put the sweets away. You can have that at home time. Not now. This is not stressful, Brian. Come on. You can do this. There's only a few more questions left, honestly. You're all good. Okay, so at the start of Kieran O'Keefe's episode, I described Kieran as being well known for leading Team Skeptic on Uncanny and for also being what? The question should say, who is his favorite debunker? Yes, it should, but it isn't. Stop dining out on that, Beardo, for God's sakes. I think there's a bonus question for this one. Kieran O'Keefe's first TV appearance was on what show? So, bonus question. Kieran O'Keefe's first TV appearance was on what show? He did mention it, I think, during the interview. So, what was his first TV show that he was on? Yes, Mystic. He is still running with that. And dear God, is he going to run with that? Someone scratched a rude word into the desk. I shall look at it later. Okay. Question 18. Project Doorway is a UFO research project by Steve Meara and Barry Fitzgerald. But what was the name of the US TV show that Barry was part of? So Project Doorway is a UFO research project by Steve Meara and Barry Fitzgerald. But what was the name of the US TV show that Barry was part of? It wasn't Bullseye, Spange. Whether that's Kieran or Barry. Okay. Okay, moving on. Question 19, slightly tricky one. Kate Gerald came on to talk about Victorian seances, but which large object was said to have appeared from a medium during a seance that particularly impressed Kate? Not where it came from, that was dirty, but which large object was said to have appeared from a medium during a seance that particularly impressed Kate? My pen's run out. Come on, Simon, find a pencil. Okay, number 20. Beardo's favourite episode. Kate Ray spoke about an event at Woollerton Park where 70 gnomes were apparently seen by a group of children. But what else was particularly peculiar about how the gnomes appeared to them? Kate Ray spoke about an event at Woollerton Park where 70 gnomes were apparently seen by a group of children. But what else was particularly peculiar about how the gnomes appeared to them? Okay. Okay. I think we've got next picture round next. Got second picture round, and then we've got two last questions, which are a bit tricky. But then that's the end. So this is picture round number 2. This is the movie round. Easy peasy, this one. If you know your horror movies. Name the ghost movies. 1 point for each movie. Okay, here are the pictures. I'll get rid of myself so you can see this last one. Write down the names of as many of these 8 movies as you can. 1 point for each movie. Some are a little bit tricky to see. No, it's not time for the bell to ring yet, Becky. It's very soon. We're nearly there. I need 2 more questions left. Raven and Beardo, I'm expecting you to get 8 out of 8 on this one. They're all kind of ghost related. Brian thinks he knows all of them. That's cool. Yeah, they are all tricky to see, which makes it a little bit tricky. There's about 3 or 4 of those that are quite dark, so they are quite tricky to see, I'm afraid. Yeah, number one is pretty tricky to kind of work out. It's quite hard to see, really. Brian showing off. I know. Nobody likes to show off, Brian. Okay, nearly all done. Just write go if you've managed to finish and you've written all 8 or as many as you can. If you need more time, just write time and then I'll just keep it on there for a little bit longer. You copy my answer for £1. Never seen number 4, Raven. Okay, ready to move on? Go, go, go. We're stuck on 4. I'll give you about another couple more seconds, then we're moving on. Okay, last 2 questions. 2 points for each. If you manage to get the answers for these last 2. Okay. Now, it's like this is going to be one of those where you either know it or you don't. All right. This is from my old kind of investigations of different places in the UK. So, for 2 points, where was this image taken? So, there's not many clues, but where is that? If you've done paranormal investigating in the UK, you might recognize it. If you're not, you're going to have a problem. That's why it's worth 2 points. Okay. And the last question, you'll be pleased to know. One last one where I look ridiculously young in it. There we go. There's one. Jesus, how young and fresh looking do I look in that one? That was a long time ago. Okay. So, question number 22. I did not Photoshop my guns, not at all. That's what my actual arms look like. Raw. Okay. Question number 2 for 2 points. Yeah, sorry, Mystic. If you're in the US, you're going to struggle with this one, I'm afraid. Where was this image taken for 2 points? This is a hard one. That's why I only did these last 2 as for 2 points because they are particularly tricky. But if you're in the UK, you might know it. Okay. And that is done. That was the quiz. Right then. Okay. So, how did you get on? Did you get no conferring, no passing notes backwards and forwards to each other? Don't copy your partner. Right. We're all done. Phew. Okay. So, the last thing's obviously we're going to go through the answers. So, this is, like I say, my hair looks thinner. Your hair looks thinner now than on the bastard, Giuseppe. Oh, what? I just kind of did that. Anyway, my elf ears are still going. Yeah. Okay, so are we ready for the answers? So again, there's some of them worth 1 point and some other, but I'll go through the questions then, and we shall go through the answers. So at the very beginning, well, I didn't win. Well, like I say, it's just a bit of fun. We'll just see how you got on. Okay, so who was the first guest on my Paranormal Monkey podcast? It was my mum. My mum was the first guest. I don't know if you got it. Who came to her rescue halfway through because her internet was shit? It was my brother. You could write my brother or my brother Brett, but my paper's in the bin. But yeah, my brother tried to come to my mum's rescue to try and sort her internet out because it was shockingly shit. But yeah, my mum was the very first guest on my podcast to talk about our podcast that we had from way back in the day. Okay. Beardo, stop it. It is the take apart that counts. Absolutely. Okay, question number 2. I spoke to someone representing the Conjuring House, but who was it? It was Corey Heinzen. Corey Heinzen, not Jacqueline Nunez. Thank Christ. But Corey Heinzen, who's a really decent bloke. Really decent guy. Okay, this is this one. There are 12 answers, right? So if you got any of these 12 answers, really well done, because I think this is very, very, very hard question. All right, so I'm gonna read out all 12. If you got it, tick it, but you can only get to maximum of 3 points. If you got more than 3, doesn't count. So maximum of 3. So She talked about the Royal Standard of England, the New Inn, the Pack of Cards, the Jamaica Inn, Pilchard Inn, Burr Island, the Talbot Hotel in Oundle, the Minerva Inn, the Prospect of Whitby, the Town of Ramsgate, the Black Swan in York, Whittington Manor, and the last one was the Bottle and Glass at Black Country Living Museum. So the Bottle and Glass. There you go. So if you managed to get any of those, really well done, because that was a bloody hard one, like seriously hard one. But well done if you managed to get any of those. You could have guessed at the Jamaica Inn, really. But but there we go. It's every pub in Britain. And I'm right. Okay. But well done if you got any of those, because that was a tricky one. Number 4, Amy Boucher spoke about the ghosts and folklore of which county? It was Shropshire. Shropshire. Okay, Shropshire. Moving on. Woohoo! Bean got 1 point. Keith Linder tells us about his encounters with the poltergeist. In which town did this take place? It was Bothell. Bothell. Bothell in Washington State. And for a bonus point, which TV show believed that he had faked activity? It was Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures. Good old Zach. Okay, the picture round. So there's 8 possible answers for this one. Dress for the Shire. I know, I'm a bit. I look like an absolute knobhead. Okay. So let me just minimize myself so you can see them. So top left, that's Newby Church. So, and then going along the top row, that's the tulip staircase photo from Greenwich. Number 3 is the Amityville House. Number 4 is 30 East Drive. Number 5, that is Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. Number 6, Raynham Hall. Number 7, Tombstone, Arizona. And number 8, that's Hampton Court Palace. Hampton Court Palace is the last one. Okay, ready to move on. But well done if you got any of those. Remember, you get a point for each one you managed to get right. If you managed to get any of those, well done. Let's play on. Okay, Ouija Brothers came onto the podcast, but what did Griff start to do during the interview that was putting me off? He was bloody picking his teeth, like getting a toothpick, amongst other things. He was drinking as well, so, you know, but mainly it was just like getting a toothpick and picking his teeth whilst halfway through the conversation. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yes, that's what Griff was doing that was putting me off, picking his teeth. Because he's a knob. Okay. Number 7, screenwriter Stephen Volk talked about his books and TV work, but what famous TV show did Stephen not want to talk about? Ghost Watch was the answer. It's the one major thing that he wrote that he's most famous for is the one thing he didn't want to talk about. Ghost Watch. Okay, number 8. John Fraser came on to discuss his book Poltergeist, an updated version of which author's original book of the same name? It was a guy called Colin Wilson. Colin Wilson wrote the original Poltergeist book. You put Seinfeld, Brian. Try again. Okay, don't scare Claire, but what is Claire scared of? She's scared of the dark. Scared of the dark. Okay, moving on. Number 10. Question 10. What particularly bizarre event occurred during the Rochdale podcast case? It rained indoors. It rained indoors, or rained in the kitchen if you want to be a bit more precise. But yeah, it rained indoors. Okay, number 11. Name the two, this is 1 point to get both. Okay, so name the two paranormal investigators from the UK that reported on Keith Linder's Washington State podcast. It was Steve Meara and Don Phillips. Steve Meara and Don Phillips. Well, if you're just coming in now, Weird Fox, I'm telling everybody the answers now, so you're like way off. So I suggest you don't even watch it because you're just going to be cheating yourself if you listen to all the answers. Anyway, go back and watch from the beginning. Okay. Question number 12. It's coming up. What was the name of my previous YouTube channel, which has now been deleted? And for a bonus point, which item of footwear scared me when it moved during the investigation of 30s Drive? So the channel was called Paranormal Truth. And the item of footwear was a flip-flop. Okay. That's for 2 points. Shut it, Monkey Boy. Jesus. Super Neutral was the name of our podcast, Mike. But their actual channel was Paranormal Truth. Okay, question 13. No, Weird Fox hasn't got a note. She's going to have to, she's be in trouble. Brian Allen believes he has found an active portal within a famous church. What is the name of the church? It was Roslin Chapel. Roslin, famous for being in, Da Vinci Code in Scotland? Roslin Chapel. Does Crocs count? No, Brian, Crocs do not count. Crocs are not the same as flip-flops now, are they? Anyway. Okay. Okay, Dr. Callum Cooper came on to talk about his book, Telephone Calls from the Dead, but it is a revision of a similar book by which two authors? This is a tricky one. So the names are D. Scott Rogo and Raymond Bayliss. Raymond Bayliss and Rogo and Bayliss are the two authors. That's hard though, that one. That was a tricky one. Okay. Other than Janet and Margaret, what were the names of the other Hodgson family members from the Enfield poltergeist case? So this is for 3 points. So Mummy Hodgson was Peggy, and the two brothers were Johnny and Billy. So Peggy, Johnny, and Billy. There was no father figure. Frodo and Sam, Venkman and Spengler, Jesus Christ. Oh, in his book, This House is Haunted, Guy Lyon Playfair used a pseudonym for the Hodgsons. What surname was used instead? It was the Harpers. So in This House is Haunted, they were called the Harpers, not the Hodgsons. Rod, Jane, and Freddie. Okay. At the start of Kieran O'Keefe's episode, I described Kieran as being well known for leading Team Skeptic on Uncanny, but for also being what? I said, that bloke at the end of Most Haunted, at the end of the Most Haunted episodes. So that's how I described him. That bloke at the end of the Most Haunted episodes. Well done if you got that. Okay, bonus question was Kieran O'Keefe. What was Kieran O'Keefe? So Kieran O'Keefe's first TV appearance was on what show? It was not Most Haunted. It was Jane Goldman Investigates. Jane Goldman Investigates. You can, yeah, Raven, Party Pooper on Most Haunted is fine. You can have that. Okay, Project Doorway's UFO research project by Steve Mira and Barry Fitzgerald. But what is the name of the US TV show that Barry was part of? That's Ghost Hunters International. Ghost Hunters International, or GHI, was the one that Barry was part of. No, Tim, Most Haunted does not count. Indeed, Jane Goldman investigates first. Right. So yeah, this one, Ghost Hunters International. Number 19. Kate Cheryl comes to talk about Victorian seances, but which large object was said to have appeared during a seance that particularly impressed Kate? It was a boulder. A large boulder appeared from the medium, which she thought was particularly impressive. Okay, moving on. Okay, number 20. Okay, Kate Ray spoke about an event at Woollerton Park where 70 gnomes were apparently seen by a group of children, but what else was particularly peculiar about how the gnomes appeared to them? They appeared in flying cars. Yeah, you heard me right. They appeared in flying cars. If gnomes weren't nuts enough. Okay, nearly there. Picture round. Then the last two questions. So 1 point for each movie you managed to get right. Here we go. So start top left first. Tricky one because it's quite hard to see. Top left is The Ring. Then going along the top, obviously Poltergeist. Number 3, 1408. 1408. Number 4, it's quite hard to see because it's quite dark. The Orphanage. Number 5, What Lies Beneath. Number 6, obviously The Sixth Sense. Number 7, Stir of Echoes. And number 8, The Others. Great film, that one. Okay. So go through again. The Ring, Poltergeist, 1408, The Orphanage, What Lies Beneath, Sixth Sense, Stir of Echoes, and The Others. I think that was all of them. And the last two particularly tricky ones for 2 points. If you get either of these, I'll be really, really impressed because this is quite tricky unless you've actually been there. Okay, let's go through. Okay, so the name of this place was Bronigarth in Porthmadog in Wales. Bronigarth Hospital and Workhouse. This was the workhouse area. And the last one, where is that? That is St. Botolph's Church in Lincolnshire, otherwise known as the Demon Church, because they're apparently Satanists did various different rituals within it and created. No, it's not the Blue Oyster Bar. Thank you very much. Thank you, Weird Fox. No. So yeah, so that is St. Botolph's Church in Lincolnshire. Phew. Right. Done. And we're just, like I say, just about a couple of minutes before the end as well. So tot up your scores. see how many points you managed to get. Remember, if it makes you feel really bad, it's out of 50. So you can just see how well. And as soon as you've added them all up, you can see exactly, you can just put them in. I've not St. Buttholes, St. Botolph, Botolphs, St. Botolph's Church, St. Buttholes. No, not St. Buttocks. Jesus Christ, what's the matter with you two? So, yeah, how many did you get? Put your score in the chat. Tell me how you got on. Yeah. I don't really need elf ears, to be honest. My ears are big enough as they are, to be honest. There you go. 7 points, 5 points. 27, Diane's in the lead. Very good. 9 from Lisa. Just time for the plenary. Absolutely right. It's just for fun. Well done, Phil. Got 20. Giuseppe, 14. Extra credit, Becky. What for? 14. It's only for a laugh, isn't it? Brian, 12. Well done, Brian. Cherry Fizz, 25. Really good score, Cherry Fizz. Really good. 13. Didn't get 0. Didn't know this was on. I got 0. Oh, Gareth, come on. What's the matter with you? Didn't know what you mean you didn't know it was on. Set your notifications. 14 from Tim. now, Brian. So let's not start calling people liars. Simon, 12. It's good. You stop writing after question 4. Jeez, Mrs. Geek. Just leave it all down to Beardo to do. What the what went on there? Come on now. Was it getting a bit too hard? Got about 8. No, did you say you got about 8 spans? Come on, add them up. 13 from Raven. Let's have a look. I go back. Yeah, that's true. Diane has been around for a very long time. So yeah, Diane stole your sheet. Oh dear. The movie questions were 1 mark each. 1 mark for each movie you managed to get right. So it's not too tricky. Just 1 for each place. I didn't write anything down though. Oh, for God's sake, Spange. Just keep all this in your head. I go back 15 and don't even come on. No, exactly, Weird Fox. You've known me for 15 years and still didn't bother. Absolutely pathetic. Anyway. Oh, dear. Anyway. Well done, everybody. Well done. Really, I mean, there were some really tricky ones. Like, really tricky ones. Like I say, because there's a lot of general paranormal stuff in there. There was a lot of questions. I know Sky yoga class. All right, whatever. Yeah, lots of general ones. Well done, guys, for having a good effort. Good go at it. Anybody who's watching this afterwards, post your scores in the chat. See how well you got on. And yeah, I'm just going to finish there. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that stupid kind of quiz. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you haven't missed too much of Side Eye Guy. Obviously, go to Side Eye Guy after this. The main thing is, have a fantastic Christmas, spend it with lots of family, get really drunk, that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. And I shall see you, like I say, unless I go onto other people's streams over Christmas, which I might pop in if they invite me and stuff. I might pop in on 1 or 2. But yeah, I hope you enjoy that, guys. And if I don't see you, have a great, fantastic Christmas. Have a great New Year. Celebrate, have a wonderful time, and just obviously before I go, 2024 was essentially the year I started this. I think I started this in the end of December last year with 8 subscribers because I didn't have anything. I literally started out from nothing at all, and to have loads of support. I thought I'd get, and Diane will tell you this in the chat because I told her my target was 5. I thought I'd be doing really well if I get 500 people within the year. The fact I'm pushing for nearly 2,000 now. For me, just makes me really, really happy. So thank you for your support, guys. Enjoy Seg. Go over to Seg's channel now and enjoy the rest of his nonsense. And I shall see you in January, guys. All right. Have a great Christmas. And I'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.